You tap your card at a store counter. A green light flashes. In less than 2 seconds, the screen says, "Approved." You walk away with your coffee. But right now, not a single penny of your money has actually moved. What you just triggered was not a payment. It was an encrypted request for permission, rocketing across thousands of miles of private fiber to the most profitable financial infrastructure on Earth. To understand why Visa and MasterCard extract over $150 billion every year, we have to track what happens inside this single 1.7-second journey. But that journey, the one that just finished, was only the first half of the story. What the terminal calls approved is actually just an authorization, a promise, permission to charge. The actual money? That part happens much later. There's a second journey, slower, heavier, and invisible to you. It's called settlement, and it can take 1 to 3 business days before the merchant sees a single cent. But here's where something strange happens. Even after all that waiting, the store usually doesn't receive exactly $42.80. To understand why, we need to see who's actually involved. That one tap at the counter doesn't just talk to your bank. It passes through at least 4 different companies before your bank even answers. First, the merchant's payment terminal connects to an acquirer, the merchant's own bank or payment processor, companies like Stripe, Square, or Chase Payment Tech. The acquirer packages the request and sends it to the card network. That's Visa or MasterCard. But here's the part most people get wrong. Visa and MasterCard don't actually issue cards. They don't hold your money. They don't lend you credit. They operate the highway. They are a private messaging network that routes your request to the right destination. Your bank. Your bank, the issuer, is the one that actually decides, and that decision has to happen fast. In roughly 1 to 2 seconds, your bank checks 3 things. First, is this card valid and active? Second, are there enough funds or available credit to cover $42.80? Third, and this is the one that gets interesting, does this transaction look normal? Your bank runs risk and fraud checks on every single transaction. The amount, the location, the time of day, the type of merchant, how many times you've used the card recently. Here's why that matters. The same card, the same $42.80, at a different store in a different city at 2 in the morning might get a completely different answer. Approval isn't automatic. It's a judgment call, made by a machine in under 2 seconds. So the bank approves it. An authorization hold appears on your account. Your available balance drops. But no money has moved. Now we wait. Throughout the day, the merchant's terminal stores every approved transaction. At the end of the day, or at a configured cutoff time, the merchant closes what's called a batch. All of the day's transactions are sent together to the acquirer for processing. And here's something most people never think about. If the merchant somehow never closes the batch, the authorization hold eventually expires and no money moves at all. The sale effectively vanishes. But assuming the batch closes, the acquirer sends the transactions through the card network. The network distributes each transaction to the correct issuing bank and begins a process called clearing. This is the accounting phase. Both sides verify the amounts, confirm authorization codes, and calculate the applicable fees. The network doesn't move money for every transaction individually. Instead, it calculates net positions, what each bank owes or is owed in aggregate, and then settlement begins. Settlement is when money finally moves. Your bank transfers the funds to the merchant's bank. The merchant's bank deposits the payment into the store's account. Your pending hold becomes a posted charge. Typically, this takes 1 to 3 business days, sometimes longer depending on the bank, the processor, or the country. But even after all that, the store doesn't receive the full $42.80. 3 separate fees are subtracted before the merchant gets paid. The largest one is called the interchange fee. It typically ranges from about 1.3 to 2.5% of the transaction. And here's the part that surprises most people. That fee doesn't go to Visa or MasterCard. It goes to your bank, the one that issued the card. On top of that, the card network charges a smaller assessment fee, roughly 0.1%, for providing the infrastructure. Then the payment processor adds its own markup. On our $42.80, the store might receive something closer to $41.76, about $1.04 gone, split between your bank, the network, and the processor. Now multiply that across every card transaction in the country. In the United States alone, merchants pay hundreds of billions in processing fees each year. And the interchange fee, the biggest slice, is what funds your credit card rewards, your cashback, your airline miles. Those rewards aren't free. They're funded by every merchant you shop at, and ultimately built into the prices you pay. And this system also explains one of the most common frustrations in modern life. If approval takes 2 seconds, why does a refund take 5 to 14 days? Because a refund is not a simple reverse. It doesn't just undo the original transaction. It creates an entirely new transaction that travels backward through the same multi-party chain: merchant, processor, network, issuer, with each party processing it in batches with its own timeline. There's actually a faster option. If a merchant cancels a transaction before settlement, before money has moved, it's called a void, and it can resolve almost instantly. But once settlement has happened, the refund becomes a separate journey. And if you escalate to a formal dispute, a chargeback, that process can take 60 to 90 days, and sometimes the system doesn't work cleanly at all. If your card is expired or your account is overdrawn, the issuer sends back a decline, and the terminal tells you immediately. But if the connection drops midway, a timeout, the merchant may not know whether you are approved or not. You might see a pending charge on your account that never finalizes, a ghost transaction that eventually disappears on its own. So the next time a terminal says, "Approved in 2 seconds," remember, that beep doesn't mean the payment is finished. It means a request traveled from the terminal to the merchant's processor, across a private network, to your bank, was evaluated against your balance, your history, and your risk profile, and a permission was granted. The actual money? That moves later, through batching, through clearing, through settlement, with fees extracted at every layer. That 2-second sound was only the first decision in a process that takes days. And that's how one tiny tap moves through the modern world.